Hello class, this is part one of a series of videos on how to do some introductory graphics in Java. So this first part will just be getting some basic text and lines on a screen, and then the second part will put a picture on the screen. So you're going to be working in this document called Graphics in Java, and the actual name of the document is 2 Activity Graphics in Java, and you'll find it on the House of Pain. So I'm just going to close this now. I'll start following the instructions, and you can just follow along with the video. So the instructions, I'm reading through the instructions in the document, and I'm going to do the actions that are in the instructions. So you are expected to be able to do some basic Java code and to create a Jframe and a JPanel using NetBeans. So we're going to start working through this. So we're going to create a new application project in NetBeans called First Drawing App. So new project, Java application, First Drawing App. I have to make sure that I have unchecked Create Main Class. If I leave that checked, this will not work. Now, in the package for this project, I'm going to create 2 items. I'm going to create a Jframe form class and a JPanel form class. So the first thing the instructions tell me to do is to create a Jframe form called main frame. So I right-click on Default Package, I go to New, and I pick a Jframe form, and I'm going to call this main frame. And then it also wants me to create a JPanel form. So I'm going to right-click on the package again, New, JPanel form. And this is called Drawing Area. I now have 2 classes inside my package for this project. Before any of this is going to work, I have to compile this project. If you try and run this right now, it will not work because it hasn't been compiled. Compiling links the frame and the panel together inside the project. So I can either do an F9, or I can right-click on the package and choose Compile Package. And I've got a message here saying the compile is done. So now I should have 2 items. I've got the drawing panel and the mainframe classes. So I'm going to open them up so I can see what they look like. So right now, there's nothing in it except a frame area. And if I look at the drawing area, there's nothing in there, just a panel. So, and you'll see that I've got a toolbox over here that I can work with. Okay? So when you're in design mode, you can add things like buttons and fields, etc., different components to your project. So we're going to select the drawing area. I'm going to put away this guy for a second. And I'm going to draw, I'm going to go to the main frame. Main frame, close the drawing area. I'm going to pick up the drawing area icon from the projects navigator, and I'm going to drop it on the frame. So I pick this up and I drop it on the frame. This has to be done for this program to work. You're dropping the drawing area class on the mainframe.java class. Now this is kind of small, so we can stretch this out a bit. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger, and I'm going to make the panel bigger within it. So this is the panel that's inside a frame. A frame holds a panel, and a panel holds components. I'm now moving on to page 3 of the tutorial document. So for the rest of the tutorial, we're going to be working in the J panel. Every J panel class is descended from a J component, and every J component has paint methods that govern when and what is drawn in the component every time the monitor is refreshed. So I'm going to go to the code for I'm going to go to the panel. I'm going to save my frame. I'm going to go to the source for the panel. It's just got some basic items in it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now start using some libraries that will let me do some graphics. So I have to add this library to my project. So I'm adding the Java AWT library and all the methods in that library to my project. Now, item 9 in the document talks about visiting the API. The API is the Application Program Interface, and it's a document that tells you everything you want to know about doing graphics, doing AWT graphics in Java. And I'll leave that to you to explore on your own. I'm now moving to page 4 of the document, and I'm going to start adding items to my code. So I'm going to go to the paint component method. Sorry, I have to, item 8 above says, create a new public void method called paint component with a single graphics parameter. So in my program here, I'm going to add public void paint component graphics G. Now there's a little item with a down arrow on it. It says add override annotation. I pick that to say add override. And that's because I'm going to take some control over how the paint component works. Okay, so now I'm on page 4 of the document. So inside this paint component, I'm going to start adding some graphics commands. So I'm going to start off with the command super paint component. So this is a command, I misspelled it. This is a command that says, take all the commands available to this paint component method, make them all available to me, even though I've overridden it with my own stuff. You just have to put that in. So now I'm going to put in the following. So this is a draw line command. This part here, this parameter draw G, G is a graphic object. So I'm creating a graphic object. So in this graphic object, I'm going to draw a line that starts at X coordinate 10, Y coordinate 10, that is 50 pixels long, or 50 pixels wide, and sorry, it goes to an X coordinate of 50 and a Y coordinate of 80. So if I now run this program, the first time I run it, there's no main class. So I'm going to say, use this class, and I run it. It opens the window and it draws an image from 1010 to 5080. So now I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to go to item 3 on page 4 to add some text. So this is a command that draws the string, can we do it, at the X position of 50 and the Y position of 50. And there's my text. Now we're going to change the font color. So before the drawstring line, I'm going to add this command. So I'm going to say g.setColor. Now, in Java, in the color library, there are some predetermined colors. One is called magenta. You can find out what they are if you just start typing the library and do a dot. Here are all the default colors available to me, so you can pick those yourself. There's also a way to define your own, and it's listed on page 4 in the document. So, when I run this, it's going to set the color to magenta. It's going to draw this in black because that's just the default color. Then it's going to change the color to magenta and draw that text. And there you have it. Now we're going to change the font. So I'm on page 5 of the document now. Before that drawstring command, I'm going to add the following command. Now, in the document, they're using this thing called Alba Super. I'm just going to use Calibri, but you can use whatever fonts are installed on your machine. Now, I'm using slightly different parameters here just because they're bigger. I'm picking the Calibri font. I'm going to make it italic style and bold style, and I'm going to make it 24 pixel, a 24 size, 24 pitch font. So if I run this now, sorry, I forgot one thing. So that's setting the font. Now I have to activate the font. So I do that by saying g.setFont F. So that says make the current font this new font I've created called F. So now I've got an italic bold Calibri 24-point string defined. That's as far as I'm going to go in this demo. We're going to continue on to add a picture. Thank you.